I wanna be the best in the game, invest in my name. Check no restraints, I'm obsessed with the pain. I ingest, I retain, assess and I change. Possessed by the thought I'll be free one day from society's restraints. Money, clout and fame, mud, disease, a plague. We all love to hate, have to play the game, have to make a name. All our insecurities are on display. This is war with the enemy. Think that it was meant to be. Living in a time.
Hello and welcome everyone to another episode of Tactical Awareness. My name's Ash, and this is Season 1, Episode 34. It's Gencon. And Owen and I, not joined by Dan tonight, are going to be going on all night about the new Gencon seminar, pictures that were sent out, any little sort of bits and pieces we managed to glean from those spoilers, and what is new in the Infinity Army update, including a bit of talk about reinforcements. So not a super specific, point to this one, but just me and Owen hanging out, talking about everything new from Gen Con, trying desperately to not be jealous about everyone standing in endless lines. So let's dive in, see what we did this week, get this going.
Oh, you're recording.
Yeah, you can keep going.
No.
Fine.
I'll wait till after.
Say your comments. Hey everybody. It's just me and Owen today. And we were just talking about how we haven't really been paying attention to the scuttlebutt about the Gen Con releases. But this is the Gen Con release episode. So get excited, because we're going to have hot, fresh takes and reacts. And not a lot of depth, I think, on this one. But actually, I think that's a good thing, because I would say that none of this is super relevant until ITS14 comes out. And we have a whole plethora of new profiles. We got to see tons and tons because the app's been updated. We got to see tons and tons of pictures of upcoming miniatures and releases. There's a sneaky video with a plastic Magariba guard in it, which I'm really excited about. And I don't think that as we wind an edition down, I think Owen or I making any kind of comment is what the usefulness or overall power of something is going to be right now.
The hope of getting rid of the classified deck is dead and gone, though.
Yes, there is still going to be a deck of cards. We've seen
definitely HVT, espionage, rescue, predator, net undermine, and that's just in the picture.
And that's just in the picture. Yeah. So some names. Yeah.
Which shows what espionage is. And a hacker must be an enemy HVT inside their zone of control, must spend a short skill at a normal whip -3. It is the same, which means there's going to be HVTs and there's a card.
Yeah. It doesn't feel like it's too far out, but I mean, maybe the ITS stock will surprise us. So I do our usual MO here. We're going to go through the mailbag. We're going to jump in and do some news of the week, news of the world. I can tell you Owen's is going to be really short, because we're just talking about this before we got on, which is very funny. We're talking about video games. But mine's not. I actually painted quite a bit of Infinity stuff this past week. I painted the new Shinobu. I painted my second metal Oyuroi, so I have 2 painted Oyurois now. I painted up what's his name, Yojimbo, and his dismount, and I painted some more crazy koalas, because Yojimbo and both Oyurois are mine layers of crazy koalas, so I need at least 4 crazy koalas. So I stole some from the Hulang, I think it is, that came with the new ones. They all match, which was nice. And then I base coated some other stuff too. I base coated some a engineer, because I want to have an engineer. I base coated the Oyuroi pilot. Not the Oyuroi, actually the Gueja pilot. I don't know where my Oyuroi pilot is, but I need at least 1 dismount, and it looked appropriate. So I base coated that too. And a Kempate shotgun I got base coated. So that's gonna round up my JSA for a minute. And I'll move on to something else, because I also got base coats done on the new Cascuda, which was really fun. I really enjoyed painting it, because I'm going to run it with my Morats. So it's in a new basing style. And I also got some stuff done on the extra operative mini, the limited edition one. So I can have another extra, because I already have a painted Void Operator. It's just almost 20 years old. So I have some painted extra already. So I can do a reinforcement basically for my my Morats. I want to be able to run both sets of reinforcements. And then I got base coats done on some brawlers, so I can do the JSA with reinforcements, because they'll do the mercenaries. And that was it. I played some games. I played against Travis, actually, one of your locals, Owen, which was super fun. He's a Calgary native, and he was here visiting his mom. I guess his mom's from St. Catharines, and so we played a couple games. He brought in his Cosmoflot, which was fun to play against. We played what did I play with? I played with my JSA for the first game, and for my second game, I played with my NCA. And I had to play against Cosmoflow, which was super fun. And he recounted stories of playing you and Dan, which was fun to hear the other side of, which I really enjoyed. And then I played a game against Chris.
Last time he and I played a game, I feel like he had stacked into a corner, and then I dropped on him.
Yeah,
I think the last time I played him was when I brought four of the A-lift drop troops.
I
forget what they're called.
The Guru attack bots.
No, the Steel Phalanx one.
Oh, the 4 Ectromoys. Yeah,
brought 4 Ectromoys.
4 Ectromoys is horrifying. That's so horrifying. That's right, because you got like multiple black wins when you went to Gold to the Carbon. I forgot about that. So you have like a bajillion Ectromoys.
And I had one already.
Yeah, the old
because I had bought it for the I had the other black wind because I bought it for the Hawkislam, and then I went to Colder Than Carbonite and got just a bunch more black winds.
That's right.
And I'm like, sure, why not?
Let's just play with 4 Ectromoys because they're amazing. And yes, and they were 2 very good games. It was very fun. What about you? What have you been doing all week, Owen?
I've been playing Baldur's Gate 3. I started painting a Stigmata, and I started painting a bunch of assassins.
And then Baldur's Gate 3 came out.
I could just not do
I could just play Baldur's Gate 3 for the next 96 hours. How far along into it do you think you are?
I got out of Act 1 with one of my characters. The thing is like I've been playing with a bunch of other people.
Oh, right.
Like,
it's on schedules and stuff.
Yeah, and it's not all the same people, and so there's a lot of like starting again, but it's also fun to make new characters. So like you're not getting too far into it, but you get to see like all of the different outcomes when you go and do stuff, because like different interactions, things like that.
Right. Triggers different things.
Mm-hmm.
That's super cool. Well, there you go, guys.
We just go out and you talk to somebody and you're like, oh yeah, we just persuade that guy, and then he lets us blah blah blah. And it's like, oh, I failed. Oh, he's mad. Oh, we killed him. All right, well, guess we don't do that quest.
So yes. Okay. I have to say that this was the best Baldur's Gate ad we could have plugged, and they should sponsor us and give us all free Baldur Gates. So there you go. Free Baldur's Gate plug.
Yeah, wizards. I want you to have people show up at my house and give me something.
Wait, take it back. I take it back. I don't want anything I just said. I take it back. It back. Hard reversal. Well, one of the good things is us bullying people about not ever writing anything in the mailbag has led to there being tons of questions in the mailbag this time around. So if you have any questions for Dan, I'm going to skip them. Although Dan doesn't get questions because he's just not as charismatic and handsome as you and I are. So that's going to be...
I just care less about what he has to say.
Yeah, I know. He's just boring, really, is what I would say. Boring and overly tall. So we're going to do 3 questions from the mailbag. Go fill them up and replace them because we want to always have lots of questions going forward. And we'll take 3 every week. So the first one is from Taylor. It's for everybody. And it says, what would your version of a campaign mode for Infinity look like? Would you be able to start buying any of the available profiles? Would you have a limited selection and have to advance models to get more options? Well, I mean, the choices aren't binary. There's lots of ways of like skinning that cat, I guess. But what about you? On how would you like a campaign system for a game like Infinity to go?
I feel like I talked about this on a previous episode where somebody had brought up their Infinity campaign.
Yeah.
They took like the Mordheim route, where it was like every guy, and then they made like a new, not point system, but like a point system that sat over top of all
like a buy
of
system,
different things. Yeah, like how you could get armor and like stats and guns and things like that. I don't know if I'd go that far. I'd probably go like I do a map campaign, like taking over an area, and then you'd have like you'd get bonuses based on regions on that map. So like maybe you have like a risk board almost of different tiles, and then each tile has a different effect in game or unlocks a thing that you can't use unless you own that tile.
Right.
So like maybe there's like a spaceport, and if you have access to the spaceport, you get access to units that have parachutist and combat drum. But if you don't have that
0G or something like that,
you're not allowed to use those.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
there's another one that gives you access to like, I don't know, smoke grenades and MSV or some combination thereof. And you do things like that, or like maybe you can't use heavy armor without access to this place because they can't maintain it or
Yeah,
whatever. Like
you can't
there's
requisition it. Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
the
Sorry.
map campaign turns into like your armies are made differently because of the limitations of what you own on the map, and you then play it like old Mordheim map wide, where you either have a foothold or ownership of regions, and the ownership does different things, and if you own
Mhm.
enough regions you win the campaign,
Like the
and then
Necromunda
you just
territory
play.
system. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, same idea.
Yeah. I like that.
That's how I would do an Infinity campaign. I would
I,
not try and do like the
rewriting the
D&D one.
game. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm with you. I think I would have gone a different. My idea would be more, instead of the map dictating, is the thing that levels up and gains more experience is you, the off-table commander. So that's what's like changing, and it's basically the same idea you're talking about, where you start off as like a junior commander, and so you only have access to, like, it would make those names of troops relevant. Like you'd have garrison troops obviously like accessible to you, and you might have a few specially trained troops, and like you'd pick like a list that you would be able to pick from in the beginning, and then either the mission might unlock like a different troop, like kind of like your territory idea. Like if you had to do like a drop point insertion or like milestone missions or something like that, you get access to 80 troops, and then if depending on your success rate, you'll be able to unlock the profiles on your list, and it'd be more about like roster building, where
I
everybody
think
starts like with a
the
basic
last part
thing.
I would add to mine is that you start the whole campaign with a certain like amount of SWIC and points,
XCOM
and
style. Yeah.
what you lose in missions, you lose, and based on territory holdings is how you replenish those forces.
Yeah. You have
and
to get them back.
and you just don't make it a 1-to-1. You make it in weird instances where like some scenarios, yeah, you're not really here to win, you're here because you have to contest them and you need access to the insert thing that's there, but you can only afford 250 points and you're out of SWIC, so you're not using special weapons because
Yeah.
unless we take over that manufactory building we don't get any more anti-tank guns.
Yeah, that was where my brain was going to go with the commander thing. Like it's like your rank basically dictates like what percentage of your, like, let's say you're starting at like a basic rank, and so let's say 75% of your points have to be spent on specialist and garrison troops. You can't spend them elsewhere, and you get that pool that grows basically, that you can spend on other things, and the list of what those other things are gets bigger as you unlock stuff. But I like that idea too of having like resource tracking, like where you have a finite amount of SWC, so that the SWC pool can go away, because it doesn't stop you from having the points to play the game, because you just make those unlimited. You just have less availability of like heavy weapons, stuff like that. Just sort of like shows logistically like how things would change.
Yeah,
But yeah, no,
you can
sorry.
even do something like if they're HI, no matter what, they cost half a SWIC. Like
Sure,
that would be my
just
only
to
rule
upkeep them
adjustment.
and like deploy them. Yeah,
There's
do
a
something like
cost
that.
for these guys that you have
Or
to
like
pay
if you
for.
haven't earned them, you know what I mean? Like if you haven't earned them, then they cost to bring out, because you have to like
Right.
specially requisition them or pay for them or something like that.
And then the thing is, again, you just don't lose it if you don't lose the guy. So like, bring your medic, bring your doctor, get that guy alive at the end of the game.
Yeah, get that
Like,
power armor back.
so long as he's like on the table still, like if they're unconscious, I'd say that you keep them, and it's only dead that's gone. And then there you go. Now you have
or
this
like unconscious, but you won, you get to reclaim all your bodies, like that kind of thing.
Yeah.
I think we're in agreement though. I think the core mechanics of Infinity are they're too,
the amount of work you have to do to make those profiles into RPG profiles is more work than you'd get out of it. You'd be teaching a whole new game.
Yeah, the game wouldn't be fun. It needs to, the what you play for and how you play for it is I think an appropriate overlay for a game, as sort of like, it's not finicky, but like it's very butterfly effect. I think if you change something, there's going to be so many unintended consequences. It's just better to it's better to parse it rather than like actually start fiddling with it, I think. But yeah, I think you and I have the same answer. We're just coming out from different directions.
Just add context to the games.
Yes, absolutely.
You'll have your campaign. Like, you don't need to make it an RPG for these 5 guys who are on their quest to become commanders in Infinity, because the world doesn't work like that in Infinity. Like,
add missions, but add missions where there's like NPCs. You know what I mean? Like have like NPC heavy infantry, have NPC tags. Like the thing that would make it a campaign system would be if there's stuff on the table that isn't controlled just by you and your opponent, and then you like script it based on like what it is. You know what I mean? Like you scripted veteran troops act a certain way, and like the smarter the troops are, the more dangerous they are.
you're playing against your buddy and he's playing as a combined army, and a ship crashed and it's filled with caged Gakis and Praetas.
Yeah, exactly. They're just running everywhere.
And throughout the game, you're both competing to try and recover these cages, but you can also just open them. And then they're just impetuous. They attack whatever's closest.
But that's I think that context thing you're talking about, right? If you create new environments and new like things, like that'll make it a campaign game and not just another game of paintball.
Yeah.
All right, next one's from Alice. It's for everybody. It says vanilla factions are hard. What would you say their strengths are? And how can you build lists better to lean into it? I've been struggling to min missions playing vanilla nomads. Well, I think we talked about this. How many times have we done this now? Like 4 times we've done a vanilla review. I think it came up most powerfully in the Hakislam one. And maybe the Aleph one too. We really like hammered it home.
And even I think Aleph, I don't think there's great, like the strength of vanilla is you have access to all the profiles. And because link teams are so easy to get now, I don't think that value is as high as it used to be.
Certain factions it really does get to valuable, and with Aleph in particular, with smoke and like unlimited access to visors, they get some really powerful combinations.
I'm
same with
sure
same with
that's better
Hakislam
than what Steel Phalanx gets.
But I mean, they get all of Steel Phalanx. Like I don't think the
but they don't get the link teams.
Yeah, I don't,
right?
I don't think that matters. I honestly don't think that matters that much.
I mean, sure. Do you play Steel Phalanx or Vanilla Aleph more?
I played both. I played all 3.
Which one do you play more,
I think I'd rather
Which
play
one do you lean to?
I'd rather lean to Vanilla Aleph, I think. Yeah.
Okay,
for sure.
Sure.
Yeah, I do. I like mixing and matching. But certain factions, especially, I think, nomads have access to all that stuff too. If you take a pure like prime faction, you're going to get access to combinations that you don't get outside of that, because there's some inherent limitations to the sectorials to prevent them from having certain combos, and they tend to unlock. And yeah, and there's tons of duos in vanilla, so I feel like there's a big, I think, advantage to doing it. But I would say that it's higher. It requires more. I think list building actually becomes more important in the vanilla, because you need to go after those things that aren't possible elsewhere and leverage them, as opposed to the kind of obvious mechanical power of the fire team charts, right? Like the fire team charts tell you what to take to make it powerful. You have a starting point because the charts will tell you what can go with what. Whereas when you're doing a vanilla, like a prime faction, you have so many options. You need to be a bit better at writing lists, I think, than you do when you're looking at the stuff in sectorials.
So I
think it's more of a challenge.
Get all the mercenary models, and then pick your favorite model that's from your faction. And there you go. You'll do pretty well in most games.
In most games, it's true, because most of the very undercosted mercenary
most of those mercenary neutral guys are point for point better than the non-mercenary guys. And if you just pay attention to them, play them to your advantage, trade those models out, and you'll be fine. And spam bots if you're playing nomads. If you're having trouble with nomads and you're like, boy, I don't know what I can do here, just turn off your brain, bring a whole bunch of remotes and the guys that can back up those remotes, and you'll be fine. Like honestly, like the nomad remote game is really strong, and vanilla does it better than the others because they can bring any of the supports. You get access to all of the like variants of hackers and characters who can back them up. Like that'd be my bet if I was going to play vanilla
for nomads, for sure. Yeah,
nomads.
playing like even an active reactive missile game, you get access to Morans with like Merry Problems, and like you can mix things that you can't normally take in like the sectorials for nomads.
You get the Puppinautica company
and Uberfall Commandos like all in the same list with Intruders.
And then you have
and Jaguars for smoke.
The big like 3 remotes that are in there, like the Vostok and the Cyclone and the Lunacod.
Yeah.
So between like the 3 of those, you have all of your hitting pieces, and then you can still bring reaction bots. You still get 2 in vanilla for them as well. So like you have total reaction HMGs to protect yourself. You have mimetism, climbing plus, remotes who are also repeaters in the Cyclones, and also the Vostok, who is just great. solid fighting piece. If you give him marksmanship, he will take on the hitters that are in links by himself.
Yeah, as long as he doesn't go up
Not-
against armor, he'll crush stuff.
A +1 damage Mark 12. If nothing else, throw the shots at it.
Yeah, you can go for dice. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the last one's for you, Owen. It's from Raven Strike 2009, and it says, Shazvasti are so much fun, but I cannot seem to win when I play. Any tips or tricks? What do you think the strength of Shazvasti is?
I mean, the strength of Shazvasti is infiltrating camo. Like, that's their jam.
And hidden deploy. They're littered in hidden deploy.
Yeah, but the hidden deploy is really expensive. You've got to pick your poison if you're going to go for the hidden deploy ones, because there's only like 4 or 5, which puts them above most of the other groups, but they're like 30 plus points for all of them. And so you're usually picking, there's 3 different hidden deploys, one of which is a tag, who is great, by the way.
But what a tag.
Build a list around the Sphinx if you're having trouble winning. Like, bring a single Sphinx. Don't bring both speculo killers, because I know the reaction is don't bring the speculo mine player. Like, maybe you bring one speculo mine layer, you can probably afford that, and then just lean on like a 5-man link backed up with Octavia. Octavia isn't that great normally. Octavia being able to be part of a 5-man link team, or really 4-man, which is all you want her to get to, because as soon as she hits 6 cents, she's very annoying. Or rather, she already has 6 cents, but the 4-man gives her the extra discover, and because she's greater than 3, she gets the extra burst on top of her extra burst, and a triple tap BS-12 missile launcher is no joke. That would be the things that, like, bring that and a Sphinx and try that out. See how that goes.
See how that goes. And then always 5 Taiga Beasts on the other thing.
If you have points left over, just bring Taiga creatures.
Just bring Taiga Beasts, because the one thing that I will say about that army is the Taiga Beasts added this level of disruption, right? That before their release, and it was like late N3 when they came out, but before their release, you had this like very expensive, very high-end kind of spec opsy army. And they didn't have something that created the chaos that prevents you from hunting them back. And the Taiga Beasts give you this layer of like, oh, I'm just gonna come get you. And if I die, it doesn't matter because I'm 5 points. That disrupts the ability to like come back at the army. So if that army is like doing the Predator thing and spending 5 to 7 orders killing stuff, and then 3 orders fading back, going back into camo, and then just allowing the Taiga Beasts just to position themselves where they are going to hurt you if you try and advance into like hunting range. It just wastes the orders you need them to waste to have your camo hold and like keep you alive, so the next turn you can go back to active turn hunting.
The only other thing I would say is combine, or rather not combine, but Shazvasti has a couple models that are bad. There's not many in Infinity that I would call out like that, but based on like the way the game works, the Jaith Cutthroats are not good. And you can try, maybe you'll have more success, but like they've got so much random crap thrown on top of them that the 25 to 38 points you're paying for a 1 wound guy with Mim 6 is like armor 0 too. Sorry, I have to always remember they're armor 0. You're gonna have a hard time. You might make it work, but when literally any template touches this guy and he dies, it's rough.
Shazvasti, more than almost any faction outside Ariadne, I think really suffered from. Actually, Ariadne not so much, because they're a lot cheaper than Shazvasti. They really suffered from the proliferation, like the shotgun template, the proliferation in templates in N4.
Because your faction depends a lot on your mod stacking, and you also lean on infiltration to get up the board, and you pay for it. And because now everyone has I ignore mods template weapons, and most of them now also come up the board right away, you reveal your Noctifier missile launcher, and you're like, 32 points, Mim 6, and I'm up on this rooftop, I'm fine. And then someone goes, oh yeah, I run my Galwegian right at you.
I super jumped my total terrain because this season everyone
Yeah,
had total
this
terrain gets
mission
super
has
jumped.
terrain total, or
Yeah.
now insert what, like 5 of the new profiles
Yeah,
for
just shitting templates every
where
direction.
there's just templates everywhere.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's true.
What about the
So
what's the
yeah,
Ariadne one?
which one? The Apache?
That's the one.
Yeah,
That's what I'm thinking of.
love that guy.
Yeah.
So yes, there. I think that is a thing just to keep in mind when you're playing Shows Vasty.
Pick 2 hitters and then fill your list with remotes, and that knocks team. You can go to 5 and you get her +1 BS, which is cool. And like knocks aren't terrible in and of themselves. The big thing that they can do though is that they're the only cheap thing you get in your list. That is a regular guy.
A regular model to fill up those points.
Yeah.
Well, that's it for this week. Great job, everybody, asking questions. So yes, I will continue to pull you all. Please go ask more questions for next week to replace the 3 we just answered. And thank you guys for continuing to like actually give us things to argue that aren't just like looking at profiles and stuff. So let's dive into our main topic. Our main topic being the update to Infinity Army, and then just us talking about some of the cool new like profiles. And what'll probably end up happening is we'll do these things in conjunction. I don't want to we're not going to get too deep into it. We're not going to go over every single profile and look at them all. There will be smarter podcasts than us doing that. Also, we don't care because this ITS season is almost over. A new one's about to start, so there isn't like a ton to say. We can talk about the mechanical stats, but you guys can see those. The context is what we care about, and it isn't here yet. But there is one overarching thing I would like to point out about Army is it has a new front-facing look for the Army sections, which call out armies that are out of catalog. So like if you go right to the top left and go to Panoceania, you'll see the Vanilla Pano, Military Orders, Varun, and Svartalheima are currently in play. And Shock Army and Neoterra Capitoline Army are out of catalog, meaning the models for them, I guess, have been discontinued completely. I mean, not all of them, because obviously there's some that are cross-faction, like Akon's Knight of Montessa is still obviously in print because it's also Military Orders. And the Neoterrans just got new bolt sculpts because those just got spoiled, which is very interesting. As well as the Squallow Mark II's in there, Maximus is in there, the Uma Sorensen's in there. There's a lot of stuff. Like to say it's out of production is kind of weird when a whole bunch of things, like I guess the Auxilia doesn't exist anymore, but a lot of things do. So I'm not super sure. How do you feel about this zone? I'm not super sure why they did this. Like I kind of understand the argument of like a new player might want to know what armies are harder to get stuff for, but it feels like it's going to always be in flux. So I don't know super why they did that. What do you
want to talk about the new player experience? Look at the absolute shit show that is the fire team button.
What do you
want to like? Have you looked at it since they've added the reinforcement stuff and the absolute wall of text that is that?
No.
So you're looking at Neoterra right now, right?
Sure.
Are you on your phone or are you on the computer?
I'm on the computer.
Yeah, click that little big boy buttons. Click that little fire team tab. Okay. Let me open it up on my computer here as well.
Mine's like the old one. It's got the normal fire teams up top, and then there's a reinforcement fire team section at the bottom. And the bonus chart.
Does mine not show it here? Oh, not there. Maybe it's just on the phone, but like I don't know. I look at that and I go, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27 separate types of profiles that are all in various versions of linking and duoing and comboing together. There's only like 30 profiles in the faction.
Sure, yeah.
And like I don't know. That sticks out to me way more than like, oh, some of these are out of production. It's like, yeah, they kind of are though. Like there's no starter kit for them.
So, I mean, they're leaning into this reinforcement thing. So I don't know how. I mean, it's supposed to be a game mode or tournament mode. So I don't really know what the intent is here. We haven't seen the ITS doc, but they've given us all the tools, I guess, to make those lists. There's been lots of bugs reported for it so far, like making reinforcements and not getting the green check mark and stuff like that, making legal lists or having your green check mark for the list isn't actually legal, like little things like that.
I'm just thinking of it purely from when I look at the like Infinity app and I'm looking at like Hassas and Baram, who were pretty easy. They only had essentially 2 link teams and a duo with some wild cards, and it's just doubled in size. And now every faction has gotten that additional doubling when it comes to just
but the reinforcements are the same across the entire faction. It's not really, you're only learning that once. That doesn't change on your sectorial, right? The reinforcement fire team chart's the same for all 4 of your factions in hack.
Right.
So it's not, I just don't see it as that much extra information.
I am looking at it as a new player experience.
Sure. Okay.
Because I remember explaining to Dan and the other people who have started playing, what is a fire team and how does it work? And now I get to go, well, here's how it works. So if you want to play Morats, you can build a Morat fire team. It can be a duo, a Harris, or a core. The units that can be part of it are a Vanguard, Kurgat, Yaugat, Surgat, Kaitak, Dartok, Rindak, Kiosat, and Kubak. Zubaks, Kiosats, and Rindaks don't count as Morats, but the others all count as Morats. And you also have wild cards, of which some count as Morats and some don't. Now, you may see further down that there's fire teams for Rodoks and Datarazis and Hungries. We'll get to that. And then we'll also go back and talk about the reinforcement team after we talk about the Crackot, Morgat, and Wildcard and Hungries teams.
So it does feel like there's an easy fix here, though, which is just when you have reinforcements toggled on, then this stuff appears. And if it's toggled off, it's just the old charts.
Yeah.
If they did that, I think it'd be fine.
I'm looking at the Morad Fire Team button on my phone, and it's got to be like 10 screen lengths of just
a lot of guys.
Info. Here's your stuff. Here's your like first screen. You get the Tarlok and the Morads. Scroll down. Rodax, Datarazi, Hungries. Then you've got your Morad Armored, Krakot, then Wildcard on the next 2 screens. Then you get into the reinforcements where you have 4 types and then the fire team bonus chart. And it's like, oh man.
There's gonna be a lot.
Yeah, I hope that would be my big hope. I know it won't be the one for the new one, is like flatten it. get rid of fire teams. There you go. There's my hot take. It's become too annoying.
Oh, Owen. I want more choices. I want less choices. Jesus Christ.
I don't want more choices. I want my choices to be valuable. That was why I advocated that we should get rid of factions. Like
just have all the models in one pool.
Yeah.
Make it Magic the Gathering.
I mean, no, but
make that a game mode. Just have all the models together.
We're one button closer to no longer having these factions in the game. Like we've been slowly creeping there, and then this playable but out of catalog is just like a don't buy me.
I guess we'll see.
Yeah, and then you get to make viable decisions, models that they pay attention to.
Well, let's talk about the not the profiles themselves, because I think the profiles we've mostly gone over. I can't think of anything we didn't see and cover during our last part 1 and part 2 of the Gen Con spoilers. I'm quickly looking through Pano, and I think we covered all of this. So I don't think there was anything that got new profiles. There was a few like snuck in sneaky little like extra profiles, but like the bolts didn't really get anything new. Killer Hacker, MSV. Oh, they dropped the multi sniper rifles MSV to 1, which is lame. It used to be MSV 2. But mostly it looks on bolts, yeah. It's only MSV 1 now. They changed quite a few of those. It's because they have marksmanship. They won't give you both. You got cheaper, thankfully, but they definitely used to be amazing.
Like it's been that way for N4.
I think it was 2. I could be wrong. I mean, I could be wrong, but I was pretty sure it was 2. I haven't painted mine, so I haven't used it recently. But it's very rare to get an MSV 1, except for like if it's on everyone in Pano, because they mostly just hand out MSV 2s if you've got like a specialist. I don't really see anything new. I think we've gone over all this stuff. New Mendoza sculpt, which is pretty cool. We saw pictures of. I'm actually excited to get a new Mendoza sculpt because I really like his profile. We haven't been able to get his model for a while. Yeah, Maximus is in here, of course, because he went into Vanilla Pano. We've already been over him, as is Squallow Mark 1 and Mark 2. We did get an NCO Squallow. That's pretty cool. Like the NCO Squallow is neat. Doesn't have a grenade launcher though. But and it's to SWC, so they did make you pay for that. Did it always have ECM Hacker -3, the Squallow?
I don't know.
I don't think it did.
I've never played as or against a Squallow.
I have double Squallow that I use quite
At
often.
least not since N2. It's been a
I
while.
think I can't remember if it had Hacker -3. It always had ECM guided.
That wasn't a thing in N3, so if it's in N4 and I just haven't
maybe I just didn't notice. But the NCO profile is definitely new, which is cool. We've got nothing else new in Pano that I've seen. So on to Yuching real fast. See if there's any profiles we missed. I don't think so though. I could have done some research, but I didn't. We're just freestyling this whole thing instead. Did we see anything new?
I don't think there's any major profile changes. I think the most interesting thing is that some of them have shown up now in their main factions. And so the question about are the points going to change or are they going to get deployment skills and things like that?
Right.
Some of them have been answered. I mean, I only was interested in my own factions for the most part. So like the Corsan, the guy with the chain rifle +2 burst,
right,
he is in QK, for example. He doesn't have a deployment. He has terrain 0G, but that's what he got. And you can bring 2 of them and they're linkable with Kaplands. I don't know why, but that's what they got. So
there was nothing in Yuching, by the way. Nothing that we hadn't already talked about.
Keep going. I didn't think that would be.
Well, they didn't get a lot of new. They got a few new sculpts, but like not as many as like some of the other factions did. Some of the other factions got like a whole bunch of new profiles.
I think the most notable thing is that as I've been kind of going through the factions one by one, it looks like none of the vanilla factions got the reinforcement models.
They did. No, sorry, they did. No, you're right. They didn't. They didn't get all of them. No, they didn't get the.
I'm thinking they didn't get any. The only thing that I see showing up in the vanilla ones that I'm not confident about is that they've got freelance operator Samsa, who is obvious. We know he's the ITS.
He's the ITS model, yeah.
But
like Ariadne has the mechanics. They just got the mechanics, which are like the new dozer, which are really cool actually, because there's a Train 0G engineer. One's got an SMG decharges and EM mines with mine layer, which is really cool for 17 points. And the other one's got a rifle decharges and Panzerfaust. So this is the one that comes with the new little Remotnik, I think, model, which finally we saw the sculpt for, and it basically looks like Wally, which I think is really cute. But the mechanics are in vanilla, so that might not be true. I think that's a good observation. I think most of them probably didn't, but I don't know if that's true across the board.
Yeah, maybe I'm just mistaken, which is entirely possible. But like at least with Nomads and Hawk Islam, that I'm more familiar with the profiles in it. If you don't have that reinforcement tab clicked, you don't get access to the profiles that exist in there. So things like the Mars spiders and the payback units and stuff, they're just not in those factions. Any of them.
Not available standard with vanilla, yeah.
And also they don't come, at least for Nomads, they don't show up in the sub-tutorials either. So all of those like security rounders, Mars spiders, payback unit, like the cool profiles that we talked about,
only exist if you're using.
They're only reinforcement profiles. Which that sucks.
So wait, hang on. So well, I mean, some of them are already,
but some of them do get them already.
Yeah, exactly. So sorry, which one we're talking? We're talking about.
So Nomads is who I'm looking at in particular right now.
So I'm just gonna check Corridor real fast and see if any of them showed up.
Try and find security rounder, Mars spider, payback unit. Those
were all Bakunin models, I'm pretty sure.
Sure. They're not in Bakunin.
Really?
Yep. They're just not. Right. You just don't get them. Unless you play reinforcements.
And I think that is kind of a way to I guess encourage reinforcement play.
I think it's lame.
Why is that?
Because
like you wanted relevant choices.
Not have new stuff. I like new stuff. I want the old stuff to go away. Like things that are no longer supported, things that are no longer getting updates, and phase them out with new models who do the same job as the old one, but are just a better version of it because they're newer. Like that's clearly what has happened with a few of these profiles. Like when I look at Hawk Islam and I look at Kapu Kalki and I look at that Corsan, he's better than like the Yuan ones. I get it. He's a third the more points for 2 Yuan, 3 Yuan combined into one man. But why don't we just get rid of the other one, right? Like that's what I like. I'd like them to say, oh, it's out of catalog, playable in mode, out of catalog.
So I clicked new reinforcement group. It did not bring anything show up. I don't see any of the reinforcement stuff in here.
You have to scroll to the very bottom, I believe, in order to see the reinforcements. At least, again, I'm doing it on the phone because it's easier.
I don't. They didn't show up. I put new reinforcement group. Maybe I have to go to list and like change the list rules. Yeah, I can't seem to get the reinforcements to show up at all. Oh, but I mean, some of them did. Like the Squallow Mark II is everywhere. The Cascuda is everywhere.
And yeah, Maximus is in Maximus all of
showed
those
up.
ones.
Yeah,
like
the mechanic showed up.
It's just that they didn't all do it.
Yeah. There's some that are like unique too.
I'm allowed to be disappointed about that you don't get some amount of them in your other factions, or notably the vanilla factions.
Yeah,
who I feel if anyone should have got it, it should have been them.
I've been fine with them being parsed out, not in vanilla, and then into like the sectorial they're supposed to be in, like how Pandora doesn't show up everywhere, right? Like I'd be fine with that if they just are they stay in their house.
Because Capitalki did get them. Corsans and Bertucks are in regular Capitalki now.
I mean, they needed it. They needed an update, so that's cool. Which is cool because they're out of catalog.
But what is happening? That's what I mean.
Yeah, that is really funny, actually. Yeah, but they got the Corsans. Yeah, they did. They just showed right up. Huh. An interesting development.
So maybe this is an app thing. I don't know.
Maybe, or maybe it's until the end of season. They don't want anyone using these profiles or proxying them. Because I don't know what the rule is for Interplanetario, if you can use any of these profiles or not.
Again, they're in QK now.
Yeah, if you're going to submit your list, you could take them technically.
You could throw in your Bertucks and your linkable Corsans.
I do love a 13-point plus 2 burst chain rifle with CC -3, CC 21, Clang plus, Courage, Dodge, Natural Born Warrior, and Train 0G.
And their good friend, Dr. Mimetism Kaplan, who's like holding them on leashes.
Yeah.
For 53 points.
Yeah, Kaplan's got a real glow up.
I mean, they've been the same this whole time, but I don't know why they're with Kaplans. Maybe there's a lore reason for that.
It's probably the mercenaries or whatever. Yeah, mercenaries are the pirates.
Yeah, sure.
And the Bertucks in here too.
Bruce could have gotten that. Or Sekban. They're all
yeah.
Like I said, I don't know why Kaplan. Sure, why not?
What were there are some I wanted to go over quickly. I wanted to go over there's like maybe like a half dozen profiles that we did not cover because we didn't get to see them early.
Oh,
I'm trying to figure out what they are. Yeah, there was someone in O12. That's why I'm trying to get the reinforcements to show up, because like I want to be able to look at some of these profiles we can get to see.
Oh, I can again, works fine on mobile device.
Well, let's see if I can get it to show up on my little list.
And then they all come up as a big clump at the bottom.
Okay.
Under reinforcements. Is there someone in particular? Because I have them up now. Nightshade, Sarkos.
I think we saw that.
Notably, the Nightshade did not get his sniper, which I believe was the picture of him with a sniper, but he doesn't actually get a sniper. The Vidocs get the multi-marksman rifles.
Did we see Vidocs?
Cool. Yeah, they were there.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think of which ones we didn't actually see.
The Ments were there. They were the chain of command for 15 points, which was great. The Vidocs were the like NCO guy that clearly made sense with the chain of command, and we went, oh, of course you bring the 25-point marksman rifle guy.
Yeah, there was a couple ones in the second. I think it was in the second episode we did where it was like nomads, combined army, and who else was in there that we didn't get to?
Cuervo Goldstein.
Cuervo's always been in there, yeah. Blade Ops.
That's it.
Oh, they even have the reinforcement tag when you pull them up. Interesting. Yeah. Reinforcement bolts, reinforcement Swiss guards. Like those Swiss guard profiles are only available to reinforcements. Interesting. Yeah, I'm trying to find out if there was anything in Pano. No. Was it blockers? No, we did get blockers. We did see them. We did see the Blade Op with that engineer tactical awareness SMG, which is amazing. Let me try. Let me try military. No, not military. Let me try Yuching. Let's see if there's anything that we didn't see. So I swear to God, there was something that wasn't around that we were looking to actually see the profiles on. Reinforcements.
Well, anyway, new comic book is coming.
Yeah,
That's
new comic
cool.
book is cool.
Everybody likes the comic
Uahu's
books.
back, which means there's actually going to be a way to play Uahu's miniature because that miniature will come back now.
And Connolly.
Yep, there's a new character there too. Was it the Sulyongs we didn't see? Reinforcements? I guess it doesn't really matter if it's only in reinforcements, isn't it? I really like the Dakabe Cyber Team. Those miniatures, the little like flying robots. I really like that model a lot. We definitely didn't see this high tie unit. Check this out in Yucheng. The high tie unit. BS14, Immune Shock, Arm 5, BTS 6, 2 wins, heavy infantry, tack aware. One has a heavy rocket, +1 burst, BS stack guided. And then assault pistol, para CC Glaskanapen. All of its BS stacks are guided somehow. It just has BS stack guided. So I assume it's assault pistols guided as well.
I guess.
With blast. I mean, it gets
Sure.
one shot, I guess, but yeah.
And
then there's
we did talk about the high tie. I don't know if we didn't have the profile. Maybe that was it.
I don't think we
saw the. We definitely saw the picture.
We saw the picture, yeah, but it's Arm 5 BTS 6. It's a big guy. It's a size 5, which I think is really cool. But having a BS stack guided like rocket launcher is cool as hell. Because if that shows up late game, you get a bunch of targeted doubts. That's going to be a nightmare for people, especially as it shows up in 2 orders.
Heavy rocket is not a missile launcher.
It's not, but it's continuous. It continuous is pretty great.
That started to become immune to in a lot of new profiles.
There are new profiles to get that, yeah. But the fact that it can be damage 15, right? Because you use the hit mode and then it gains the blast from being guided.
Oh, you can do that.
That's right. That's what you have. That's what you do, right? You use hit and it always gains blast. So you get the higher strength already, and then you can just keep rolling a wound.
And you can tack aware the shot. I think the crazy thing is the fact that he's BS14 base,
right? So he's a 20.
Can't fail.
Can't actually miss. Yeah.
Guided the other 20s. Ones really could, but
That means he high dices your dodge, right? He can high dice on you. Like he can do it with no fear of missing, because you have a fear of missing when you do it with the missile bot.
Right.
This guy just goes eat rocket. And I mean, it's not necessarily going to be like what the missile is, where you can kill like tags and stuff with it, but you can splash a fire team, or you can splash like a group of guys standing next to each other and do a hellacious amount of damage. Like this thing will like a damage 15 continuous will just destroy heavy infantry. So that's neat. I'm glad we got to see that profile finally.
Yeah.
What's next? We did that Ariadne. I'm just double checking if there's anything that we didn't see in all these. In Ariadne, going to the bottom for reinforcements. Thank you, Owen, by the way, for pointing that out, because I did not realize that was what I needed to do. No, we saw all of these. Saw the Apaches. And then it is Hack. We already talked about Hack, didn't we? Yeah, we saw the profiles in Hack, I think.
Pretty sure.
Double check. Al Hawaz, Rafiq's, Nazmats. They did sneak in a few different profiles for like some of the remotes and stuff like that. Like it's like a Mark 12 on one of them now. AP Spitfire and the Azrael is pretty cool too, and heavy shotgun. Because yeah, we didn't see like the existing profiles changes for reinforcements either. So having that on having a close range Azrael, I think is pretty freaking cool.
Yep.
And I think everything else in here we saw for the most part. I mean, there's obviously some changes to the profiles that we didn't look at that are vanilla, but I'm just kind of calling out highlights here.
And in all fairness, it's all subject to change.
Yeah, and of course, and context, which I think is the bigger deal, is that what missions we're playing for when we're actually using these is going to be a bigger deal.
Yeah. Yeah. AP Spitfire on Azrael is pretty cool instead of his Fearbach.
Yeah, 64-point Lizard for Nomads with a Spitfire and a +1 damage grenade launcher showing up in your business. That's pretty freaking cool. +1 damage grenade launcher showing up mid-table late game could be an absolute nightmare because it's a damage 15 grenade launcher because it gets the native +1 as well. And all of its BS decks have shock, so it's a shock grenade launcher. Crazy. On the Spitfire. I don't think there's anything else here. Do we see the Kulak payback crew? Yeah, we did, I think.
I'm willing to call out that Miranda Ashcroft got tack aware on all of her profiles.
Yes, she did. Yeah. Yeah, and that's a great ad.
Yeah,
Especially
now you still
considering
won't
she
take
can.
her, but sure.
Well, she can. I don't know, man. She can do it with everybody.
Oh no, we're not talking
Vanilla, you can do it the hell out of her.
She doesn't have Tackaware normally.
Oh no! Oh, sorry. It's just you just mean in. Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
I thought you said all. Well, you said all the
Whoa.
profiles. I thought
Yeah,
that's what
all
you
of the
meant.
reinforcement ones.
All the
Sorry.
reinforcement profiles.
We're talking about reinforcements.
We're talking about reinforcements. Got
You brought this up.
I
I'm
did.
just going along.
Sorry. You when you said all, I just assumed it meant in context all.
In context.
I guess you're not wrong. I defeated myself yet again. Umbra Legates and the reinforcement profiles are neat. Spitfires, Chain of Command, K1 Combi. Extra officer.
Yeah, she went up 3 points to get Tackaware on everything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and the final the final stats link is good are the same too. 53 points for +1 burst chain rifle and AP combi and reinforcements is neat. Yeah, I think we pretty much got all of it, didn't we? It's just any profiles that slightly changed when they became reinforcements.
All right, Diggers, did you go to 1 wound? No. You still have +1 burst change rifle? Yes. And there's still 14 points.
Satra unit. Okay, here's a new one. So the Satra unit is Albedo MSV2 in the vanilla or in reinforcements for Aleph, sorry. BS13. There's a hacker with SMG, Cybermines, killer hacking device, regular hacking device, the same thing. And there's a multi-rifle and a shock marksman rifle profile. It's a pretty cool profile. Again, just reinforcements, but
why, yes, Steel Phalanx did need an Albedo guy to go with their smoke and MSV game.
Right? If you want to go hunt MSV, now you got an MSV hunter who's also a hacker.
Does Albedo work because it's not the first game round?
Oh, I don't know. And maybe they've changed. That's a good point, actually. Maybe they've changed Albedo to deployment skill to the turn they're deployed. Players
increases points by 10.
No, it does work because what happens is when you are deployed, you gain a white noise token, and then during your states phase, the Albedo token A is removed and replaced token B, and then it's states phase again. So it's not based on the turn number anymore. It's that you get the white noise when you're deployed, and then it flips to B during the first states phase, and then flips away at the next state phase. So it always goes through two turns, basically. That's smart. They changed that. Yeah, I don't see anything else. Super. Oh, the rickshaw attack bot's in here now. We didn't see that guy before. Hacker mine. Oh no, we did see that. Did we see the rickshaw? The kind of weird. We did. We saw that. It's the punchy attack bot and the shooty attack bot. We did see that
because we liked the punchy attack bot.
We did like the punchy attack bot. I do like the punchy attack bot. I like him a lot. I wanted him in vanilla. Let me see if he's in vanilla. Attack bots. Give me all the attack bots. Or just give me an OSS. That's what I'm actually gonna check because I don't care about anything else. Show me that attack bot.
Was he the rickshaw one?
Either. No. I can't remember which one he was. I don't think he was the rickshaw one. I think he's the other one, but they're not here, which is dumb. He should be in there. He's so good. We all know punch bots. That's fine. And then what did we have left? Really nothing, I don't think. I think that was it. 012. Non-line armies I'm not going to bother looking at because there's no vanilla. And then 012, we saw the Nightshades, we saw the Psychic Droids, saw Jack Boots, saw the Vidocs.
Oh no, the day one tac bot is what he's called.
Yes.
He's a light infantry, not a remote.
Oh really? Is he reinforcement or is he in?
He's a reinforcement.
But is he in vanilla too? That's what I want to know.
Yeah,
he's a light infantry. Really? He's not
no giving him.
What's his name? Oh, can't memorize him. Yeah. What's his name again?
He's a day one tac bot. DAW.
DAW. Nah, he's not in here. Damn it.
Yeah. MCC 22 with his EMCC weapon. Martial arts 2. 5 of them for 19 points with +1 chain rifle. This is what I mean about, hey, you want to have a hard time with your Shazvasti? Wait till your opponent drops 5 day one tac bots on the middle of you with their dogged remote presence, total immunity, and burst 2 chain rifles and the ability to fight in melee as well. And they're 6'4", and they also have dodge +2 and dodge +3.
We get it. Mimetism doesn't mean anything anymore. We get it. We get it.
Yeah. Well, no, I'm answering the follow-up to the mailbag of like, why is Shazvasti having a hard time? Well, here, let's make Shazvasti's gimmick this, and then everyone else's gimmick is the counter.
Yeah, that's fair. All right, so let's talk about some sculpts. We talked about some profiles, talk about some sculpts. We're looking at a new Agnes Ferrer model with some double SMGs, kind of cool. I do like the new bolts. They look like the old bolts, like armor wise, just a bit more sleek, which I think is cool as hell.
If it wasn't for the fact that Senya Lovoshinka was going to be like a HVT model, that'd be cool.
Yeah, she's
I
badass.
don't know that she's going to be an HVT.
She might be a double duty like Pandora, where she's an HVT sometimes.
She
and
does
she's
have a
character
gun
model sometimes. Yeah,
and most of the HVTs don't carry guns.
No, they don't usually carry guns.
New Muyibs, new Govads.
Yeah, the blade ops looks cool. I really like his like helmet and like just like his stylings. Let's go down to.
I don't like that they got rid of the hoods on the Govads in Infinity, because they recently had redone Govads and they all had those jackets. They have these little like
wasn't it Zayden's? The Zayden's all had jackets. You mean the trench coats? No, you don't mean the trench coats. You mean the jackets? Okay,
yeah. They both got jackets, and then the new ones they've done away with that, and so like, it's going to be harder to tell who's who at a glance now. Like the Govads have visors. The Muyibs also have visors, but the Govads stick out from their face a little bit.
It's slightly different.
Yeah. We carry backpacks. We carry rounder backpacks.
So I do have to say, one of the things that I am most excited about is there is a very different aesthetic to a lot of the Yuching models. They for a long time had a very similar like helm style and face style to the Pano minis. They have a very different helmet. They have almost like an anvil shaped helmet now on all of these new sculpts, with the exception of the Salsa Warrior, who has like a Raiden hat, which I also think is cool as hell. I really like that. But a lot of these new ones, like the Suliang and the Hwarang, they have this almost like flat topped. It almost looks like a medieval knight helmet, and I really like that they have a different aesthetic to the Pano aesthetic. Like, I like that their armor is like visibly different. The only other ones that have done that. Sorry,
is Bixie a robot?
Her legs are. She was injured
from the knee
replaced.
down. They're definitely fake.
Yeah, she had her legs replaced. She's got she's kind of got the what's the girl's name in Portal? The shells or whatever. Yeah, her legs are like runny legs.
Yeah.
So yeah, I really like that. I like that I like that change in the aesthetic. And then I also love the Dakabai cyber team. I don't know why he's got like bee wings. And his head is super weird. Like he has like a weird face, but I like that he's a little less human looking. Like he's not even as like human looking as like the Chappie bots in 012. Which I think is really cool.
I like the Romantic bot.
You mean Wally? You like Wally?
We're going to Space Hulk, and we will escort him every day.
He's the cat. That's right. He's the cat.
It's just the cat everywhere. He's even got the arm.
The cyber altered task unit. That's right. Yeah. I do like him too. New Yaz beer, that's cool. I like this new Yaz beer. He's pretty neat.
I don't know what he looks like yet. His old model suffered from a bad case of the what am I doing? But yeah, new Yaz beer to go with the new Thrasamides.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because they're doing that Difos pack, which I think is cool. New Muyibs are really cool.
I guess. The Muyibs are cool. I don't like the Govad change. I'm like, you just changed them and they were cool and they had their own little thing going on.
I mean, you have the old Govads, you don't care.
I have all the Govads.
That's right. So like it doesn't matter, right? Like
no, I get that, but like the Govad box comes in 4, right? So like you were always using either, for me, I had 2 boxes of them, so I could get away with it. But like you were always, I need just the one more guy. But now they don't look the same at all. Like if you have these 4 guys with jackets and these one guy, because you already had a hacker in that box, so you've got an HMG, and I don't think there was an HMG. There's definitely a sniper, definitely a rocket, definitely a hacker, somebody else. I think it's a rifle, but I don't know. That's weird. New Muyibs is cool though, because Muyibs they've been
out for a while.
They've been getting one random guy here and there.
Yeah. There was they didn't get a box. They got like a bunch of like packed in with army boxes or starters.
Or in the I think they're in either the alpha or beta support box. You get one. The one that comes with the Sunduck butt also gives you a Muyib.
Yeah.
And he is the saddest looking Muyib. Because they were like, I don't know, he suffered like a stomach wound or something, and he's like completely hunched over.
Just crunched over, yeah.
And he's like, it's like, buddy, stand up. I know you're scared because you're a Muyib and your life is short, but
your
like,
life is going to be over soon. Yeah. Well, now
New
at least
Icadron.
new Icadron. I was gonna say the new Uberfall Commando. I'm going through the news pictures in our Discord right now. That's why I'm doing this order.
I went to Facebook.
New Uberfall Commando. I absolutely love the chimeras. They make me so happy. Sharkman with his anchor, Goatman with his like kukri knife, and then the cat with like climbing axes. It's so cool. And then a cat girl, because you had to have a cat girl. I hate the cat girl because I don't like her whip. I think that it's way too big and silly looking. Of all of these, I liked them because they were just weird. Like you could see the weird mad scientists of the nomads making these things and selling them to people. The cat girl just, I don't know. It just,
You don't think they're gonna make and sell cat girls to people?
oh, they're gonna make it sell cat girls, but they won't be in charge of anything. Certainly not in charge of a bunch of chimeras.
I look at the goat's face. So like the other two, they look sort of like normal animals, but that's not what a goat looks like. And so I was trying to figure out, is this a reference? Because it's very close to Diablo's face. Like it's creeping really close to being like an homage. And I know they've done that, I don't know, 50 times.
Yeah, I think it is. I think you're right. I think it's supposed to be like that, or it's just like the satanic goat face.
Yeah, it's clearly playing that game. Which in that case it bums me out because you should have done it with all three. Like
fair enough. Yeah, make them all references. I mean, it's kind of King Shark. I don't know who the cat's supposed to be, but it's a little bit King Shark.
I'll send you a bigger picture. I'll post it in the Discord because you're looking at it right now. Right. Of it like more zoomed in Infinity News. And when you see them, it's like the poly count jumped for his head.
Right.
Like somebody cared way more about what that goat's head looked like compared to the two around him.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, what was going on here that they wanted that one in particular to look the way it does? And like even the cat girl doesn't have that. So like,
that's why she stands out to me. Like she's not in that high poly count compared to the rest of them.
I mean, the shark is a guy off of Hero Forge. Actually, they might both be. That's the same. Anyway, I'm sure that's not the case, right?
No, but I like them a lot.
The body.
I just don't like the leader.
The more I'm like closing my eyes and thinking about it now, and I'm like, the body armor on the cat on the right.
Stop thinking about it. Stop thinking about it.
Is literally the high tech armor that you can select on Hero.
All right, stop it. We got new mechanics and the Sternic Outer Patrol finally. That awesome picture of the dude with like the I'm gonna look like in 5 years, with completely white hair. And then yes, like you said, the Ramotnik bot.
I like the mechanics has her wearing like snowboard boots.
Yeah, I did notice that she has these bizarre. Yeah, she has these bizarre like.
And she keeps them in the model. The model keeps them.
I hope
she's got like half pants.
Oh, she does. Yeah.
Like her pants.
It's because you know why? It's because Wally keeps bumping into her shins because he's a big jerk. I also like how big that remote seems to be. It seems to be way bigger than size 1. That thing is absolutely enormous. Yeah, he might be. I mean, they're painted that big, like not just the renders. I like them a lot. Like they're cool as hell.
Yep.
They needed them. And then, like you said, new Icadrons. What do you think about the Icadron resculpt? I like it, or the Icadron. I really like that resculpt, actually. I like that, like, they're weirdly top-heavy. Like, they look biomechanical. They don't look like just dudes.
Yep. They're working on it. They're getting less dude, but in all fairness to the old Icadrons, I have no idea what an Icadron looks like. It's one of those model that like it never interacts with the game. It showed up for a few moments every now and again, and for the most part,
flamethrowers at you, and that's it.
Or more likely, it AR'd a flamethrower as you were passing by and doing something else, and you're like, oh yeah, the turret caught me, damn. But like, yeah, they're cool looking. I like the Imatron little beacon.
Yeah, they're very alien. Like the Imatron looks very what is it? The Combine from Half-Life 2.
Please be one piece.
Yeah, or 2 pieces. Just the top and the bottom. I just want the top and the bottom, please.
I just want one, and like, or maybe you like insert one piece into the other, because like if you have to glue those pads onto the top of that thing, it's gonna break.
Absolutely. And they announced an online campaign, the Shattergrounds, which they have those models they showed off in that video for too, which is the new. They showed off Maximus and Cascuda, but they also showed off the new plastic Maggie, it looks like, which is very exciting. I'd be very happy with that. So they're doing another online campaign with on tabletop. I guess we'll see how that goes. But I think I'm pretty pumped for some plastic Maggie. More plastic tags make me happy. And that's it. That's it. Yay. I know. That's when I'll actually have my Maggies painted. When I'm not afraid they're going to fall apart because they weigh 7,000 pounds.
Operations deck and battle conditions deck. Are you ready for random scenario every game? At the end of the game, the player earns 1 point for each structure point lost by an enemy weakened, up to a max of 3 points. Interesting. I'm looking at the 2 references ones.
The 2 reference cards they shot up pictures of.
Yeah, so operations deck is interrupt the signal. At the end of the game, the player gains 1 objective point for each structure point lost by an enemy beacon. So there's a plural. Up to a maximum of 3 objective points.
Yep.
And then the condition is jungle combat. The player must choose one option. Place 2 circular templates on any surface of the game table, but totally outside any deployment zones. Each circular template is a special terrain zone jungle and a saturation zone. Or, while totally inside the area covering 4 inches of either side of the central line of the game table, troopers with the terrain jungle or terrain total special skills automatically have +1 inch move to their first move value. So you get to pick to either put down templates or just the middle 8 inches of the board are jungle.
It looks like those cards are going to replace every random mission might have 0G zones or might have whatever. Like, I'm fine with that because it looks like it's just a reference, right? With the battle conditions deck where it's like, we're going to have battle conditions for,
Which means that I'm interested to see if like you draw that and like maybe player 1 or player 2 draws that at the beginning of the game.
The deployment, I would say I bet the deployment player gets to draw from that deck. I bet that there's I bet that those 2 things, the operation, the person with initiative gets to draw and choose, and then the person with deployment gets to choose the battle condition. That would be my guess as to how that's going to work because they're 2 different styles.
Right.
And I'm betting the initiative roll dictates which of those 2 decks you draw 2 cards from and then which one you play.
Yeah.
Which I think would be cool. I'd be very excited about that. I like there to be more reasons than just table side and what kind of army you're facing for the choice to go first or second. And battle conditions and the operations deck can be things you can actually bank on. And it's a choice too.
Yeah.
Because for instance, the battle condition for jungle combat, like the second option, while you're totally inside the area covering the 4 inches either side of the central line, if you have terrain jungle, terrain totally get +1 move. There's no downside there. There's no saturation zone. It doesn't interfere with anything. It just means certain troops get like a tiny bonus, which I'm completely fine with. The top one could be obnoxious still, but you don't have to choose it, right? So like, as opposed to just hammering those into the missions where everyone hated them and they didn't want to put down more 5-inch templates of saturation zones, they just stacked them on top of each other, like as far as possible from where the battle was happening. These could actually be things that you might actually want to use and you have some choice about. Now the question is going to be, what are enemy beacons? Like, you know, the signal thing, like, do you have to deploy beacons? That's a more interesting reference to me, is like, what is this beacon thing? Like, are we always gonna have beacons on the table? What's that mean?
Yeah, it could be a tie-in, it could be something else.
Maybe they got rid of HVTs and we placed beacons instead.
I don't think they did, because the few classifieds they show in that image,
they show HVT espionage, don't they? Yeah. There you go. So maybe
they're Predator. They also show, like, there's a few others in that picture.
Some classics just like reworked. Yeah.
I don't think they're reworked. The text is all the same. I think they're just more of the same. And
they still have symbols and they still have Intelcom, it looks like, on them. I still see numbers.
Yep.
Well, I don't know. All I know is that's going to be interesting. We also see the new ITS season 15 pack, which has size 5s for a overdrawn. Oh no, wait, that's a size 6. Yeah, it's the overdrawn. It's the overdrawn of the Agamemnon. It's got black dice, which I think is cool. I do kind of like the cover on this one, the Singularity cover. And it's got, like we said, the new extra character. And it looks like a classified deck, like a special classified deck. That'd be nice if it came with a classified.
It probably comes with sleeves, because the other ones have come with sleeves.
Oh, maybe, yeah. Maybe those are sleeves, yeah.
I think that would be my...
That'd be cool, too.
Supposition.
Mm-hmm. And then looks like the patches for like the Agamemnon stuff like that as well, and some cool order tokens, some themed order tokens, and some buttons. So that's a cool pack. We'll see how much people like. I don't know. What do you think about Samsa now that he's like sunk in a little bit? Extra's such a downside.
Yeah, I mean, it was the problem before, like when we
I think
first
he needs
brought
to
it
be
up.
cheaper.
That, like,
I think he needs to be 5 points cheaper, and I'd probably take him.
if he's in the reinforcements with the reinforcements, because like there's a lot of time, like we've talked a lot about these different reinforcement profiles and stuff, and it's like, oh, that's pretty cool, and like here's a 60-point tag, blah blah blah. You know, that's not how you play this game. Like, you bring those tags because they're fun.
Yeah.
But the reality is you're gonna get 5 of those day one tag bots just raining down on you, killing everything that's across the middle of the board. Like, that's what you're gonna face more often than you're gonna face a weird, like, yeah, I've got Maximus and I've got these 2 support guys and we're gonna do it. It's gonna beat those idiot chain rifles just shooting in every direction and going, there we go. Now my opponent can't win. Like, that's what I expect to play into. And like, Buddy Bugman is just gonna die. He's gonna go up the board, and then they're gonna hit him with a wall of templates, and he's gonna go, but I'm armor 3.
Now I'm dead.
Goodbye.
Yeah.
Make 4 armor saves against my linked burst +2 chain rifle guy.
It's not gonna go well for him. So then we've got Aftermath, the new graphic novel. I gotta say, I love the Infinity graphic novels. I've loved all of them. I liked Betrayal, I liked Outrage, I liked all of them. They've been great. So I'm actually really looking forward to this one. I love they come with miniatures. We're gonna get a miniature for Wahoo, get this new Den McConnelly, this like boxer guy who looks like he's at a Street Fighter. He literally looks like a Street Fighter character, except he's got a sick banana hammock on.
He's got the vibes of the like, have you seen that meme of like, be the American the Japanese think you are? Like, that's the vibe I'm getting from this guy.
He's got real guile energy. Yeah.
Like, yeah, like they gave him the blonde hair, blue eyes,
his six-pack just points directly to his dong. It's really funny.
He's definitely really not funny. Wearing a shirt.
Yeah, he's
just gonna beat you to death with his bare hands, and he's happy about it.
He looks like a strippergram. He absolutely does look like a strippergram. He needs to have a less deep V in his pants. Like, I've never seen a V-neck,
which is funny too, because the Aftermath art, like when you see it on the front of the book, he's wearing like a jacket and like boxing gloves.
Yeah, dude, looks like Han Solo on the cover of this comic book. Yeah. And the concept art for him is just, it's got real like strippergram energy.
Yeah, they shaved his beard and probably the rest of him.
Yeah, definitely.
And they're like, all right, we're gonna do this.
The hair there is all artistic. It's not actual.
Oh, they airbrushed that on there.
They airbrushed that shit on afterwards. Yeah. Oh, tremendous. And then the one panel of the art we see, it looks like he's fighting the leader of the clown bikers from Akira at the beginning of it all, and ripping to pieces, which is pretty cool. And then there's the Xenia Lavochenka, I think is her name. She's like a mafia boss from the Nomads, and looks like a Soulblight Gravelord's bad guy from AOS. Which is kind of neat with wolf pelts. I like them all.
I love them wolf pelts.
They do love them wolf pelts. New Bishi, jumping with their sword. I don't know. I actually kind of like the limited edition Bishi better.
I think both of them look like garbage.
Yep.
I have one.
What do you really think? Well, then send me yours. Send me yours if you don't like it. If you're not going to use it.
What are you doing?
I mean, they're new NA2 Sforza, which I'm very excited about because I do actually really like Sforza.
It's fine. The Sforza is cool looking.
Yeah, he's really
I'm sad that both like his concept art and then they do like another art where he's got like the 2 big pistols.
Yeah.
And it's like,
they didn't do the pistols.
What if we do Rod and AK-47? Like, I mean, I guess.
Yeah.
There's only one other guy who dual wields pistols, and there's 2 other guys.
There's Wild Bill, and there's yeah.
I'm trying to remember if
Uma does SMGs.
There's also
Usha does assault pistols.
But does Perseus have assault pistols or HMGs or some combination? Because he's jumping backwards with those guns. I don't remember.
So so the planet Concilium Prime is where the Shattergrounds is going to take place on Montalbaum, Okolnir, Edda, Lorena, Huac.
Just eating those words.
And Bao. Just fucking made up island names.
Goblin.
And that's where we're supposed to play reinforcements. Apparently, Shadowgrounds campaign is going to be heavy on the reinforcements. And that's it. So I think most interesting things we've taken from this so far is our sneak peek at the classified deck. If I was putting money down, dollars to donuts, it's going to be that the chosen ground will be the deployment player, and the operation will be for the the initiative player. And yeah, I think that's going to be a neat little add-on for additional like CPs and stuff, or OPs rather. And we'll see what that means in 15. But for now, it means nothing. We're just getting sneak peeks in the future. And of course, September, October can't come fast enough because that's when the new season starts.
Perseus does, in fact, have a heavy pistol +1 burst. And he's jumping backwards with his 2 pistols.
He can dualies you like John Wick.
That's what he's doing. I don't know if we've got the Perseus model, but
I gave it to you. So you got my Perseus model, yeah.
Good.
That tracks. All right, we're done. So we've got 2 weeks until the Summer Siege for Tactical Awareness. So get your tickets paid for if you're planning on attending. I think at the end of this week, I'm going to lock the attendees so that I can prep your tables and get the table count already. So make sure that if you have paid or you have not paid, you get your payment in this week so that I can get you counted and we have enough tables to play. And thanks to our patrons, of course. We waited until Sunday to record this because we were waiting for all the Gencon stuff to come out so we could just do it all at once. Supposed to split them across 2 episodes. And screw Dan because he's in the mountains where it's beautiful and I hate him. So he's not here tonight, which I probably should have said earlier. We just did this all without Dan. Didn't say anything.
There is an event in Redcliffe, Alberta on the 19th called Hotter Than Hell's Basement. That is a free entry, Legion Hall rented, all run by donations and raffles stuff taking place that Dan and I are so far intending to go to.
Amazing. So what day is that? The 19th?
It's the 19th. So not
it's the day before
weekend,
Summer
but
Siege.
The following one.
Perfect. Yeah. The day before
Hotter
Summer Siege.
Than Hell's Basement. If you look it up on Facebook, it'll pop up there, and I believe it's on ITS now as well.
You can shoot me the link to the ITS, and I'll throw it in the description for the podcast. Hopefully, they can get some more attendees. Wicked.
I think there's 30 people. Something like that.
That's a good size.
Yeah.
Hotter than hell.
Hotter Than Hell's Basement.
Nice.
I'm trying to see if I can find it on OTM.
All right, sweet. Yeah, we'll put the link in the description. All right. Night, everybody.